This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The 5 suspects police believe are responsible for killing businessman Kurt McCartney last month made their first appearance in the South Street Magistrates Court today.
As Foreign Carey tells us, the defendants also made some charges of their own against police after their arraignment.
A large, noisy crowd gathered at the South Street Magistrate Court shortly before 2 p.m., waiting to get a glimpse of the 2 women and 2 men police are holding responsible for robbing and killing 43-year-old Kurt McCartney in October. McCartney, the brother of Democratic National Alliance leader Granville McCartney, was shot and killed in the Gambia area in what appeared to have been a robbery gone bad. They are 26-year-old Sumya Ingram, wearing the black jacket, 20-year-old Lindira Curry in the white t-shirt, 31-year-old O'Kale Farrington, pictured in the green and red striped shirt, and 23-year-old Thorne Edwards, all residents of Plantal Street off East Street. Also in court, car rental company owner, father of 2 and Sandy Port resident, 42-year-old Terry Delancey. In court, Sumya Ingram and Lindira Curry cried as the magistrate charged them, along with O'Kale Farrington and Thorne Edwards, with intentionally and unlawfully causing the death of Richard Kurt McCartney back on Thursday, October 24th. They are also facing an armed robbery charge for allegedly robbing McCartney of his 2007 Hummer Jeep. They were not required to enter a plea, bail was denied, and they were remanded to prison. Edwards and Farrington also complained that they had received death threats from prison and asked that they be placed in protective custody. Meantime, the court also charged Terry Delancey with accessory after the fact of murder. It is alleged that on Tuesday of this week, Delancey, knowing that Ingram, Curry, Farrington, and Edwards committed murder, assisted in enabling them to avoid the due process of the law, an allegation he denies. Delancey's attorney requested that he receive bail, noting that he found the alleged murder weapon and turned it into police. After hearing his submissions, the court granted Delancey $15,000 bail. However, he will be fitted with an electronic monitoring device. He has to have no contact with the persons involved in the matter, or his bail will be revoked. Now, Farrington and Edwards both complained that they were beaten while in police custody, and they asked that they receive medical attention, complaints that were all noted by the court. Meantime, all of the defendants will return to court on November 26, when they will be served with voluntary bill of indictment papers. Foreign Carey, ZNS Network News.
In other news from the courts tonight, a 38-year-old Haitian man is in custody after he was arrested for a large sum of cash at LPIA yesterday. According to police, it was around 6:40 p.m. when Drug Enforcement Unit officers were tipped off and went to the airport's transit lounge, where they arrested the suspect after they reportedly found him in possession of a large amount of cash suspected of funds derived from operating a criminal enterprise. An investigation into that matter continues. Well, today is Universal Children's Day, which celebrates the day the United Nations adopted the Declaration on the Rights of the Child and the Convention on the Rights of a Child. Social Services and Community Development Minister Melanie Griffin told the media today the Bahamas has adopted several measures to protect the nation's children and make them aware of those rights.
We have the National Child Protection Council, which again puts on various programs with regard to the care and protection of children throughout the Bahamas, both here and in the Family in New Providence and in the Family Islands. They have a particular program called I Got a Right, which actually is based on the Convention on the Rights of the Child and advising and informing the general public and children themselves what their rights are.
The National Insurance Board setting the record straight this evening about having some of its files destroyed in that fire at the Store It All facility on Blake Road yesterday. Officials from NIB say no records or files relative to national insurance contributions, registration, or benefits were destroyed. Its comments were a direct response to published reports in a local daily that NIB lost hundreds of files in that fire. Well, more women voted in the 2012 general election, but sadly, those numbers are not reflected in the number of women in public office or political life.
Well, women presently represent only 13% of the membership in the House of Assembly and 31% in the Senate, holding 5 posts in each. Social Services and Community Development Minister Melanie Griffin made the observation during a press conference to announce National Women's Week on Wednesday. The week will be celebrated from November 24th through November 30th under the theme Promoting Women in Leadership in a Developing Bahamas.
We want to be able to mentor and to encourage women's participation in leadership in public life and in governance throughout the course of this week, and hence the visitation of Dame Jennifer Smith, the former Premier of Bermuda.
Well, the week of activities will begin with a church service at Wesley Methodist Church at 11 a.m. on November 24th, where the public is also invited to attend. The Bureau of Women's Affairs has partnered with the Zonda clubs of Nassau and New Providence, as well as the Bahamas Crisis Center on activities for the week. Now, the week of activities will also highlight the problematic issue of domestic violence.
November 25th, which falls within National Women's Week, is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And the week includes a special observance on this day, spearheaded by the Zonda clubs in the Bahamas in conjunction with the Bahamas Crisis Center. In fact, on that day, in keeping with a call from the United Nations Secretary, the Zonda clubs will lead the charge for 16 days of activism towards combating violence against women and the wearing of orange ribbons in continuation of its Say No efforts.
Coming up in Family Island News, more on International Children's Day. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. The Exuma Chamber of Commerce announcing the formation of a new executive body to help unify stakeholders and place that island's beauty on the world stage. In collaboration with hoteliers, landowners, local professionals, and business interests, the inaugural meeting of the Exuma Advisory Council is set for January 2014 at the Grand Isle Resort and Spa at Emerald Bay. CEO of the Exuma Chamber of Commerce, Pedro Roll, said the creation of the body would be a turning point in rallying support for the island and take the tourism product to new heights. In other business news, come January 1st, the Bahamas for Success Center for Extended Studies will take on a new name. It will be known as the Bahamas Institute of Business and Technology. The institute is commonly referred as Success Training College, but officials say that name had proven to be quite cumbersome at times and to a greater extent restricted the center's growth. Students enrolled there will also not only have their credits accepted locally but internationally as well. Aside from that, officials say they will work to ensure that Bahamians everywhere can access affordable tertiary level education. And in international business news, CNN is reporting that fewer people are expected to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday this year. According to AAA projections, some 43.4 million Americans are projected to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday next week, a 1.5% decrease from the 44 million people who traveled last year. The number of people traveling at least 50 miles from home during the Thanksgiving holiday travel period fell short of last year's 4-year high. AAA describes the Thanksgiving holiday travel period as Wednesday, November 27 to Sunday, December 1st. The number of those driving and flying has also dropped off. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.